Well, hello, friends. Hey, it's Jamie with Reece Homes here. Hope you are enjoying a wonderful start to your summer. As you start to look at the summer season, I know many of you are looking at how you can maintain and improve your homes to not only protect your investment, but just to have a home that's nicer to live in. So let's talk about three things that you can do that will help you improve your experience with your home, and three things that you should really avoid doing. And let's start off with the three things to avoid doing. The first one is to avoid using commercial and high-powered pressure washers. Unless you really know what you're doing, these are things that, based upon so many inspections that we've been part of for clients, this is the number one area where people damage their homes, just by applying too much pressure water to the exterior, where they damage roofs, they damage siding, and they go from needing to just clean off their paint to needing to paint their home. So this is one of those times that if you're going to use a pressure washer, using a do-it-yourselfer Home Depot special with the lower pressure is definitely the thing that you want to use, or you absolutely want to get good instruction on how to use a commercial pressure washer or hire a professional. The other one is waiting to paint and caulk, right? One of the most expensive things to replace in your home is your siding. And oftentimes what we see is that when people just put it off one more year, oftentimes they go from a point where their paint may not look good to a point where their home is now damaged and they're having to replace siding, or they're having to work with water damage, things like that. So if you're in doubt, it's probably the time to paint, right? And not only is it going to help protect your investment, but also a freshly painted home looks wonderful, and it also provides you an opportunity to maybe update the aesthetic of your home and just enjoy driving home to your home every day with something that this looks a little cleaner, fresher, and more contemporary. The third thing that we see so many people do in the interest of trying to keep critters out and things like that is they will oftentimes block up vents. And these are the vents that you see in three locations generally: in your foundation around the perimeter of the home, in the soffits, the underside of the roof on the exterior of the home, and then the roof itself. That sometimes they'll say, oh gosh, there's a little flaw here, let me go ahead and block it up. It's really important that your crawl space and your attic get clean, fresh air moving through it. The more that moves through, the better your home is going to be in terms of it's going to maintain its temperature better, it's going to avoid the growth of mold and bad things. And just your home is going to function so much better. So absolutely don't block up those vents. So now we go to the opposite side. So absolutely maintain your exterior paint, right? It's a relatively easy thing to do DIY if you have the time and the energy to do, especially if you live in a one-story house or maybe a two-story home. It's something that can be a nice family project, or absolutely something that is best left to the professionals as well. But definitely keep up on that. The other one, and it sounds like this is something that you should do in the spring or the autumn, and I absolutely agree that that's a great time to do it. But if you haven't maintained your gutters, drains, and debris around the property, now is a great time to do it. And frankly, it's easier to do it than in the spring or the autumn because the leaves aren't wet. If you have cleaned out your gutters in the autumn, this is a great time to grab a shop vac and go ahead and clean out all of the debris, because so often when there's water there, it's a little bit easier or it's a little bit tougher to remove all the debris from your gutters. But this is a great time, now that everything is dry, just to grab a shop vac, go through those gutters and clean them completely out, seal up any leaks that might be there in preparation for the rainy season. And then finally, go through and do a critter access check, right? So this is going back to those vents, right? Looking at the vents in the foundation, looking at your roof, and looking at trees that might be overhanging the roof. We want to get those trees and the shrubs and all of that at least 6 feet back, and if anything around the outside of the home, hopefully about 3 feet back from the home, just to provide a nice buffer there. But on the trees, you want to get them at least 6 feet, because a lot of vermin can jump up to 6 feet from a tree onto a roof line. And then, aside from just the vents, look for any other gaps or holes or anything like that where that are larger than the size of a dime, because that's about the size that a mouse can get into. And if you find those gaps, then if they're in a vent, fill them with something that allows allows air to pass through. If they're not a vented area, then that's a great place to put steel wool in, or steel wool and foam, something of that nature to seal up those. And you can find a lot of tips online about how to properly seal those holes. But those are 3 things to do, 3 things to avoid doing that will help maintain the enjoyment and investment quality of your home. If you've got tips, send them to us. So I'd love to send them out on social media to our friends of our business. And I hope you enjoy a wonderful summer and that these projects don't take you very long at all. Thanks for watching.